Today, I will be putting the top point getters of the 2022-2023 season on the same team to see how many Stanley Cups they can win. We have the top 12 forwards, the top 6 defensemen, and the top 2 goalies, and I've decided to put them on the Arizona Coyotes because I think they need all the help they can get. Darlene Montour and Heiskanen all had the same amount of points, so I had to get rid of one of them, and I chose to not include Heiskanen. I hope that's not too offensive. And for goalies, Vanacek was actually the point leader with 3, and a bunch of other people had 2. I went with Stuart Skinner just for something different. I could have went completely OP and chose Vasilevsky, but I wanted to give the other teams a little bit of a chance to win. Year number 1, the team would finish with a 64-15-3 record, earning 131 points for first in the entire league. And of course, it had to be Nathan MacKinnon leading the team in points with 107, while McDavid with 105 and Tkachuk with 87 would round out the top 3. McDavid and MacKinnon would both tie for most goals with 42, while Kucherov would get 39 for third place. Not a terrible goaltending performance either. Vanacek had 42 wins, a 912 save percentage, a 2.54 goals against average, and 7 shutouts, with Skinner doing pretty good as well. In fact, Skinner had better stats and won 22 of 29 games played. Samsonov led the entire NHL in wins with 44. He only had a 905 save percentage and a 3.03 goals against average with 4 shutouts. While Austin Matthews led the entire league in points with 119, as well as leading the entire league in goals with 55. And the boys would not choke in the playoffs, beating the Tampa Bay Lightning in 5 games in the finals to lift the Stanley Cup. Their toughest opponent would be in the first round against Seattle. They'd only beat them in 6 games, but they'd sweep Minnesota in the second round and sweep Edmonton in the conference finals. With that being said, Panarin would lead the league in playoff points with 30, while it would be Stamkos leading the league in playoff goals with 13. Connor McDavid would win regular season MVP. Adam Fox would win the James Norris Trophy, while McKinnon would grab regular season MVP. Vanacek would win the Vezina and the William M. Jennings Trophy. Year number 2, the team would finish with a 64-16-2 record, earning 130 points for first in the NHL once again. McKinnon would lead the team in points once again as well with 98, McDavid at 94, and Tkachuk at 76, rounding out the top 3. And we did not have a 40-goal scorer, as McDavid would lead the team in goals with 39, McKinnon had 37, while Pasternak had 33. Vanacek would get 43 wins, he'd have 5 shutouts, a 900 save percentage, and a 2.59 goals against average. Ovechkin led the entire league in points with 108, while also leading the entire league in goals with 55. And Vanacek would end up leading the entire league in wins with his 43. The closest was Spencer Knight at 38. And the boys would win back-to-back Stanley Cups as they beat the Carolina Hurricanes in the finals in 6 games. They swept Minnesota in the first round, beat Dallas in 6 games in the second round, and swept Calgary in the conference final. McKinnon led our team in playoff points as well as leading the entire league in playoff points with 23, while Kotkaniemi led the entire league in playoff goals with 11. Ovechkin would win regular season MVP. Adam Fox would grab back-to-back James Norris trophies, while McKinnon would grab back-to-back Conn Smythe trophies, with Vanacek grabbing back-to-back Vezinas and William M. Jennings trophies. Once again, Connor Bedard would not win the Calder Trophy. I'm wondering if the team he was drafted to used him. I hope they did, because they're a dumpster fire right now. They did use him, as Connor Bedard was drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks. He only had 51 points and 18 goals. Year number 3 would be our worst season yet, as we finished with a 59-18-5 record, earning 123 points, but we'd still finish first in the entire league. Low point totals this season, as Marner would lead our team in points with 84, David had 83, and McKinnon had 79. Looking at goals, McDavid led our team with 41, McKinnon at 32, and then Marner was third place with only 28. Austin Matthews, now on the Vancouver Canucks, would lead the NHL in points with 117 and in goals with a whopping 67. And Jeff Skinner would casually score more goals than everyone on our team. Forgot to look at Vanacek, who wasn't that great. 2 shutouts, a 905 save percentage, and a 2.75 goals against average. He had 47 wins in 67 games played. He would still have the most wins in the NHL though. Spencer Knight was second once again with 44. No three-peat to be found, as Arizona would lose to the Colorado Avalanche in the second round in 7 games. Colorado would go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, but lose to Carolina in 6 games as they would lift the Stanley Cup. And the rest of our playoff journey was rather simple. We swept Dallas in the first round, and that was it. McKinnon led our team in points in the playoffs with 16, while he would also lead the team in goals with 8. Makar and Nichushkin tied for most points in the playoffs with 28, while it'd be Nichushkin, the sole goal leader, with 12. Tage Thompson was your regular season MVP. Owen Power dethroned Adam Fox for the James Norris Trophy. Now I'm about to say words that were probably never said before. Jason Zucker is your Conn Smythe Trophy winner. He is your playoff MVP. Spencer Knight is your Vezina Trophy winner, while Vanacek would capture his 3rd William M. Jennings Trophy in a row. Year number 4, the Arizona Coyotes would finish with a 57-20-5 record, earning 119 points, once again finishing first in the NHL. And it took 4 years, but McDavid is finally the point leader for the team. He had 97 points. He also led the team in goals with 50. McKinnon would have 46 goals, Bouchard would have 39, and it'd be a big drop off as the fourth place goal scorer was Marner with 25. Vanacek had a 910 save percentage at 2.49 goals against average, 3 shutouts while winning 42 of 59 games played. Would lead the entire league in wins with his 42, while Saros on the Ottawa Senators was second place with 40 wins. And Alex Ovechkin at 40 years old popped off. He had 125 points to lead the league while also leading the league in goals with 63. Age is definitely just a number for Alex Ovechkin. This team was not going to lose 2 Stanley Cups in a row. They would beat the Carolina Hurricanes in 5 games in the finals to lift the Stanley Cup. They beat Minnesota in the first round in 5 games, beat Colorado in the second round this time around in 6 games, and beat the St. Louis Blues in the conference finals in 5 games. McDavid led the team in playoff points with 27, while it would be Nathan MacKinnon leading the team in playoff goals with 10. While it would be Nate just leading the entire playoffs in points with 35, and Svechnikov leading the playoffs in goals with 14. You think the Carolina Hurricanes would have figured out a way to win, but they did not. Just like how it's going in real life. Bobrovsky is cracked out of his mind right now. Obviously, Ovechkin would win regular season MVP. Morgan Rielly would grab the James Norris Trophy. It would finally not be McKinnon as playoff MVP for the team. Connor McDavid would grab those honors. While Vanacek sees his 3rd Vezina Trophy out of the last 4 years and wins back-to-back William M. Jennings trophies. But he did have to share the award with someone this year, and of course, it was his backup goalie, Stuart Skinner. Year number 5 was our best season yet. We'd hit 67 wins, 10 losses, 5 overtime/shootout losses, earning a total of 139 points, obviously finishing first in the entire NHL. No 90-point getters this season though, which is kind of wild. McDavid had 89 points, McKinnon had 81, and Tkachuk had 75. We also did not have a 40-goal scorer, as McDavid and McKinnon would both tie to lead the team in goals with 39, with Pasternak rounding out the top 3 with 35. Vanacek had 48 wins in 61 games played, 5 shutouts, a 911 save percentage, and a 2.45 goals against average. He obviously led the entire league in wins. Samsonov was second place, now playing on St. Louis with 43 wins. Speaking of St. Louis, Buchnevich would lead the entire league in points with 110, and Alex Ovechkin, who's still trucking along at 41 years old, led the entire league in goals with 56. And the boys are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions once again as they beat the Florida Panthers in 6 games in the finals to lift the Stanley Cup. They'd be able to beat the Seattle Kraken in 6 games in the first round, sweep the St. Louis Blues in the second round, and then beating the Anaheim Ducks in 6 games in the conference finals. And McDavid would lead the team in playoff points with 27 and in playoff goals with 13. His 27 points and 13 goals were good enough to lead the NHL in both those categories in the playoffs. And Buchnevich would grab regular season MVP. Adam Fox would grab 1 more James Norris trophy. McDavid would grab back-to-back playoff MVPs, while Vanacek would grab another Vezina trophy, winning 4 out of the 5 seasons we've done, and he would sweep the William M. Jennings trophy. With that being said, that is going to be it for me today. I'm honestly surprised that we did not win every single season, but 4 out of 5 Stanley Cups is pretty dang good. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.